We're here today with Professor Takahiro Fujimoto from the University of Tokyo. He's perhaps the world's leading authority on the Toyota production system and on automotive product development more generally. He's also a colleague of mine with the International Motor Vehicle Program, which is an international consortium of researchers that work to do insightful research on the industry. So Taka, welcome to Wharton.
Thank you very much.
So for my first question, given all of the news about Toyota and the kind of recall crisis, you've studied Toyota and its production system for a long time. Can you tell us what surprised you about the crisis and perhaps if there was anything that didn't surprise you?
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, probably I was surprised to see the fact that Toyota was the first guy who got this trap of what we may call the complexity problems. Because this can happen to anybody. Because now the society and the market are stricter and stricter against the cars and vehicles in the world. So this could happen to anybody, but I was a bit surprised that this happened to Toyota first, because there was warning by Toyota executives that, well, we are in a very difficult situation dealing with complexity. So they sort of knew that could happen to anybody, but that was Toyota. Mm-hmm. That's a bit surprising. Yes.
Right, which had always been one of the best at managing complexity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So they were probably a bit overconfident that they can handle this kind of complexities more than other companies, and quite ironically, they probably took in too much capability, complexities, I think, that was over the capacity.
So I know that one of Toyota's primary explanations for this is how rapidly they've grown in the last decade. As you think about everything you've learned, does that seem to you like a good root cause of the problem, as Toyota would want to look for the root cause, or are there other factors as well?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's really true that Toyota was growing very rapidly, but other companies like Hyundai and some others were growing even faster than Toyota. So the growth itself was not the only cause. This multiplied by other factors was probably the real cause of the problems, and that was probably the number of production lines, facilities, number of models sold in the global market, and the growing complexity of each individual vehicles. Influenced by the social pressures and the market demand. All these things multiplied together, I think, created a really explosive expansion of the workload for handling quality problems. And again, the Toyota, although they had a capability to handle these kind of things, even Toyota couldn't really handle this expansion of the complexity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know there's a saying at Toyota that a problem is a treasure. You want to find problems because each problem provides an opportunity for improvement. Mm-hmm. And under that philosophy, hiding a problem would be the worst thing. Mm-hmm. When you look at how Toyota has handled this crisis, do you see them living up to that philosophy of revealing problems and focusing on them to resolve them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to my knowledge, they were not trying to hide the problems. But, again, when the problem happened, actually, since this is a very complex problem, they were not sure, probably, to what extent this is a responsibility for the company and to what extent other sort of parties are responsible for that. So their probably attitude was, wait a minute, this is complicated. And they were sure, probably, that they were not the only party responsible for this problem, but it was also quite obvious that the Toyota was at least partly responsible for many problems that were popping up one after another. So they probably what they should have done was to come as quick as possible. Like the president comes to America as quick as possible, and then they apologize for whatever is responsible from Toyota's point of view. So like a partial but thorough apology, quick apology was what they had to do. But they probably hesitated to come because they were not sure to what extent they were responsible for those problems. And then people saw that as, gee, Toyota is escaping from this. This is probably this is not what they meant, probably. But the way they handled the initial problem occurring was very bad, I think.
Yeah, I think a problem that appears in the factory, even if it's complicated, is somehow you have more kind of control and more access to the full information. When a problem comes to your attention because a customer says something to a dealer, it seems Toyota had trouble kind of taking that information and recognizing it as a problem that definitely needed their focus and attention.
Right. I think this can happen to any companies which are confident of their quality. I mean, this happened to other companies in the past too. But when you are very confident of the quality, this is a source of arrogance. Back in 1990s, I saw some of my friends just complaining about how Toyota treats those people when there was a problem. They go to the dealers and the dealer reports to the Toyota companies about these problems. But they tended to get some reaction from the company that the product must be good. We are confident of the quality of the product. So, logically, it must be your driving problems. And that made many people very angry. And I noticed this kind of things coming one after another. First, sporadically, but more frequently since 1990s. So I was always warning that arrogance is number one enemy to the philosophy. But they didn't take this seriously until this big problem happened. It was really sad.
And clearly, what's happened has damaged the Toyota brand and reputation. Do you have some kind of advice or recommendations for President Akio Toyoda for what would be the best way to help restore that reputation?
Right. Well, quite ironically, this is really the long-term race of obstacle race of handling growing complexities that we cannot avoid. And Toyota was one of the front runners taking care of the very complex products like hybrid or luxury cars at very high volume and growing volume. So they were taking all kinds of complexities, and they were front runners in taking care of the complexity. And then they probably took in too much complexity, and then they stumbled. But this is a race that you are not allowed to retire. Because they are customers. So they have to stand up and go again. So there is no excuse, and there is no room for them to retire. They have to just keep on building capabilities. That is the only solution in the long run. Now, in the short run, they have to persuade people that although they made a big mistake this time, they will go back to the root cause and do Toyota ways of solving problems, finding problems, and then come back and to make sure that everybody convinced that this will not happen again.
Mm-hmm. And sounds almost like back to basics. So not a change away from the Toyota way or the Toyota production system, but kind of back to basics to build those capabilities to handle the new demands.
Right. I think the Toyota system or Toyota way as a philosophy or as a system is still, I think, one good ways to handle the customer's needs quickly and accurately. But that was a deviation of Toyota itself, particularly the headquarters. I'm not talking about production people, because I'm constantly looking at the production sites almost every week, but there's no signs of decreasing capabilities on their side. And also, we have to understand that so far, all of these problems that is now picked up at Toyota problem are design quality problems rather than manufacturing quality problems.
Yeah. No, I think that's an important distinction.
So, of course, it's true that the production site has problems. I go there and I see many problems there. But those problems, on the one hand, and quality problems that we see now are not directly connected. So, in this kind of situation, people tend to pick up all kinds of bad news about Toyota. And of course, this is a big company. So you can find 10, 20 bad news very easily. And then people, the danger is that people try to connect these things. Hey, this happened and this happened, so there must be causal relations between the two. But this is not the case, I guess, in terms of Toyota production system or Toyota way. As a Toyota way, as a philosophy, probably at least some part, I would probably say middle managers, particularly, of headquarters, started to deviate a bit from Toyota way of thinking by being arrogant, being overconfident, and also they started not to listen to the problems that customer raised. They are problem-solving companies, and this culture is still there in the factories and in development centers. But in some part of the headquarters, they started to say, "Hey, this is our problem. I am responsible for finding my problems and solving my problems. It's not you to find my problems." Mm-hmm. So sometimes I'm critical of Toyota for some areas, but they get angry. They always say that we want to find our problems, so please, give us any clues on the problems. But when I really say that this is a problem for you, they say, "Hey, this is none of your business. This is me. I have to find the problem, not you." And that kind of inward lookingness was growing, I think, some part of headquarters, and that was very dangerous. This is a good time, I think, to correct this kind of attitude and go back to the basics of the Toyota system.
You mentioned complexity earlier, and you talked about the kind of needs or demands of society and also of the market. And I know we've talked before about how a car is a expensive and heavy and fast-moving object in the public space. Mm-hmm. And that is part of why all these demands face an automaker. Could you say a little bit more about that? Elaborate on the complexity issue?
Right. I don't say that the car is a special thing. Car is very different from PCs, for example, or internet products and other digital products. In a sense that it's heavy and it's dangerous, it's fast-moving, as you said. This is the society is very strict in dealing with these products, because this product was also born with the original thing. Because of the cars, people are killed, and the air pollution happens, and it's noisy, and the oil is consumed heavily by this vehicle. So there are many bad things about the car, but there are many good things about the car. That's why we see 700 million cars on Earth. But we have to solve all kinds of problems. So they can't stop innovation. They don't have a luxury of stopping innovations. And because this kind of social pressures, social constraints, regulations, and also customer requirements are getting higher and higher. The hurdle is getting higher and higher. What was okay 10 years ago is not okay now. For example, this Toyota problem also reveals that some of the things that is part of Toyota problems was probably not treated as big problem 20 years ago. So customers and societies are fussier and fussier about the how they treat the cars.
And that just creates tremendous demands on the designers, right? There's more and more.
Right, it's a nightmare for the designers. You have to take all these constraints, so they have to solve gigantic simultaneous equations of structure and functions. And a previous problem was a typical example of that. They tried to improve fuel efficiency and safety and quietness at the same time by a nice combination of regenerating brakes, very powerful one, and anti-lock brake system, their latest systems, and the usual hydraulic braking system. But the weighting changed a little bit, and solution changed a little bit. But Toyota sort of failed to solve this problem in the right way, at least in the beginning. And
so, if all these things are happening to Toyota, would you say we can expect other auto companies to show some problems also with these issues? Because these challenges must face all automakers.
Right. There are some Toyota-specific things like arrogance and history-specific things, but this complexity issues is well, nobody can escape from that. So everybody is in the same race, and Toyota was ironically one of the front runners when they stumbled. A big failure happened there, but we are all in the same race. So smart companies, at least I see, as far as I see, started to see, rather than laughing at Toyota, they say, "Oh, this is our problem." And some of the CEOs started to say, check all kinds of quality problems, potential problems of our companies, because that could happen to our company. Yeah. And that's very healthy reaction.
Right. And I guess otherwise, if Toyota is very good at recovering from this, that would be the optimistic view, then perhaps they gain some advantage in dealing with these issues ahead of other companies, if the other companies don't proceed. So could you just say who you think might benefit of Toyota's competitors out of this situation?
Well, again, the companies which are quality driven. In this kind of situation, of course, the front runner stumbles, so people tend to say, "Hey, this is a great chance to gain the market share in an easy way." That's very dangerous. I think that company may become the next victim. So rather than this, they have to say, "Hey, this is a time when quality is very important, particularly safety is number one, and health is going up." So we have to be very careful not to dissatisfy the customers, and then if they focus on the quality and safety and all these issues and make more numbers of customers happy, then as a result, the company will grow and they will gain market shares. If the companies stick to this kind of philosophies, I mean, the companies sticking to this kind of philosophy will, I think, be winners.
And do you see, I know it's maybe would be a sweeping assessment at this point, but do you see the U.S. automakers being in a position to do that well? This is a kind of opportunity for them.
Right. So again, if they see this as just a short-term marketing opportunities, that's very dangerous. But if they see this as a great opportunity to look at their own quality again and improve the design quality and manufacturing quality at the same time, and to make more customers happy, I mean, this is a great chance, I think, for them.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Right.
Really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.